Lecture 10, Capitalization in English. Capitalization means the use of capital letters in writing. Capital letters are sometimes called uppercase letters. They are distinguished from small letters or lowercase letters. Is it important to use capital letters in writing? Let's see this in a real text. In fact, capitalization and punctuation go together. They are called mechanics. Why are capitalization and punctuation important in writing? To see the importance, let's examine the first text and the second text. In the first text, no punctuation or capitalization are used, while in the second they are used. Let's try to read the first one. What makes a good rodeo rider great? You could take 10 champions, all with determination and heart. What you'd find in all of them is a lot of try. That's it. They've got to put forth a lot of effort. They've got to have tried, said T. Murray, the youngest man ever to be named world champion rodeo cowboy. You noticed that without capital letters and punctuation, it was not easy to read the text. At least it wasn't easy, at least to breathe. Now let's try to read it again with punctuation and capitalization inserted. What makes a good rodeo rider great? You could take 10 champions, all with determination and heart. What you'd find in all of them is a lot of try. That's it. They've got to put forth a lot of effort. They've got to have tried, said T. Murray, the youngest man ever to be named world champion rodeo cowboy. Notice that the use of capital letters and punctuation helps you to know the beginning and end of ideas. Also, it helps you to see where quotations start and end. In addition to that, they help you to know that certain words are proper nouns, like T. Murray. They help you to know the functions of sentences as well. We conclude that by adding punctuation and capitalization, we add some meaning to our texts. Let's discover the rules of capital letters in writing. In fact, there are many rules that govern the use of capital letters. Rule 1. The beginning of sentences. Begin the first word in every sentence with a capital letter. A capital letter is used at the beginning of every new sentence. This means that after end marks, the full stop, the question mark, and the exclamation point, we need a capital letter. See the examples here. The cat is sleeping. This is the first word. The is the first word, so T is capitalized. Notice that we never capitalize the whole word. We are speaking about a letter which is capitalized, not a word which is capitalized. And when I say a sentence, the sentence can be a statement as sentence 1, or it can be a question. Where did I put that book? Sentence 2. It can also be an exclamation like sentence 3. It's great to see you. And also we may have the case of interjections used at the beginning. Remember that at the beginning of every new sentence you need a capital letter. Rule 2. Direct quotations. What is a quotation? A quotation is what someone said, and it is enclosed between inverted commas. We have the opening quotes and the closing quotes. They can be single or double. What is between the opening quotes and the closing quotes is called a quotation. When we say a direct quotation, we mean direct speech. Begin the first word in a direct quotation with a capital letter. Look at the example number 1. Kalika said, Let's take a nature hike today. This is a complete sentence. It begins with a capital letter, capital L. Sometimes a quotation is divided or it is interrupted by a phrase, like sentence 2. The skyline trail, said Pancho, is very scenic. Here, said Pancho divides the quotation into two parts. The first part begins with a capital letter, the skyline, T. But the second part doesn't begin with a capital letter because it is incomplete. So, if the quotation is divided, do not begin the second part with a capital letter unless the second part is a new sentence. So, if the second part is a new sentence, it is then capitalized. And this is what we notice in example number 3. Let's go. First part, Kalika said, the weather's perfect. The weather's perfect is the second part, and in that case, it is a complete sentence, a new sentence, and for this reason, it should start with a capital letter. Rule 3. Greetings and closings of a letter. Here it is the case of letter writing. Every letter has greeting at the beginning and it ends with a closing. An example of a greeting is Dear John. The word dear is the beginning of the greeting, so it should begin with a capital letter D. Yours truly is a closing of a letter. We may have other closings like sincerely, yours, etc. Here, the closing begins with a capital letter. If the opening or the greeting or the closing contains two words, it is the first word that should be capitalized. Now, John is capitalized in example 1 because of another reason. It is a proper noun. Rule 4. Capitalize the personal pronoun I. Always capitalize the pronoun I at the beginning of a sentence, in the middle of a sentence, or even at the end. Do not capitalize the first letter of the other personal pronouns such as it or she or the others, unless the pronoun begins a sentence, so they do not follow the same rule. Remember that we never write the personal pronoun I in a small letter. It is always capitalized. Another letter that is always capitalized, it is the interjection O. It shows exclamation. O is used when addressing someone. It is an old form. O is distinguished from the other word, the interjection O, OH, and they do not follow the same rule of capitalization. Look at the examples. Example 1 is about the personal pronoun I. I will read you my line in the school play and I will repeat it. Notice that I is always capitalized. The second example contains O, used when addressing someone. Hear our plea, O mighty king. Notice that O is used in the middle of the sentence, but it is capitalized because it follows the rules that we have mentioned. Look at the third example. There are so many rehearsals scheduled. This is the interjection OH, and it doesn't follow the same rule. Here it is used in the middle of a sentence, and that's why it's not capitalized. When it is used at the beginning, like in sentence 4, oh, it's beautiful. Here it is capitalized because it begins a sentence. Rule 5. Outlines. An outline is a plan. It is the framework for a paragraph or a longer composition. This means that we can write an outline of a paragraph before writing a paragraph or before writing a composition or an essay. Outlines have special rules of capitalization. Look at the example. Notice that the first letter of the first word in the outline is always capitalized. So use a capital letter for the first word in each entry in an outline. Look at the example. The title is A Typical Weekday. Because it is a title, we have some rules of capitalization that we'll discuss later. Now look at the parts of the outline. They are numbered here. Before school. This is the first entry. B capitalized. W is capitalized. G, D, and F. The reason why they are capitalized is that they are used in an outline. Notice that you will not use capital letters with the other words in the outline unless there is another reason, like having a proper noun, for instance. Rule 6. Proper nouns. This rule is very important. A proper noun names a particular person, place, or thing. Begin a proper noun with a capital letter. A proper noun is different from a common noun. A common noun names any person, place, or thing. Do not begin a common noun with a capital letter. Unless it is the first word in a sentence, it means there is another reason. Or when they are part of a proper name. Let's see this in an example. Central Library. This is a proper name. Gloria, a proper name. It is a name of a person. The Pacific Ocean. It is a name of a particular ocean. Now look at Central Library. Library is normally a common noun. When it doesn't refer to a particular place, this shouldn't be capitalized. But in this example, this is a name of a library. It is called Central Library. And for this reason, both words begin with a capital letter. The same thing applies to Pacific Ocean. Ocean is a common noun. We say there are many oceans in the world. In that case, O is not capitalized. But in this example, we are referring to a name of an ocean. It is called the Pacific Ocean. And for this reason, the word ocean is capitalized. We see the same phenomenon in example 2. Crestview Middle School. This is the name of a school. The words middle here is an adjective and school is a common noun, shouldn't be capitalized when they do not refer to a particular place. But here, since they are part of the name, they have to be capitalized. So any common noun that is used as part of a proper name should be capitalized. Examples include, for instance, building, aunt, ocean, school, mountain, hospital, and so on. For example, I can say, the hospital is not far from here. In this sentence, hospital is not capitalized. But when I say Muhammad Boudiaf Hospital, this is a name of a hospital and the word hospital is capitalized. I can use the same rule with the word university. I say, for instance, that I study at university without a capital letter. But when I say Qasdi Marbah University, here this is a name of a university, so the word university should be capitalized with the other words. Rule 6. People's names and initials. Capitalize people's names. Only the first letter. Example, my cousin's name is Patrick Mahoney. You see here that both the first name and the last name are capitalized. Sometimes we don't write the whole name and we keep only the first letter. This is called the initial. Initials are written in the form of a capital letter as well.